My friends, it's the season of giving, whether it's the gifts that you're giving during the holiday season or your presents to your family since you don't have to work right now because you're on break, or giving into the thought that, oh crap, Bitcoin just went back up to $28,000, and what are we going to do? Miners are going to just buy up all the GPUs and everything's going to be over again. Yes, the gift of despair is what I'm here to bring to you today in examining, is GPU mining coming back? Is everything going to be lost for 2021? Let's talk about all of that after we talk about today's video sponsor with Past Brett Who Had Hair. My friends, today's video is brought to you by Acorns, the country's leading saving and investing app. Now, I'm no stranger to making sure that I'm prioritizing my financial future, especially with a special needs child. I need to make sure that all of my finances are squared away in the event that something happens. And that's where Acorns comes in. You can automatically invest spare change from everyday purchases like holiday gifts that you're buying this season, gas, groceries, and so much more. And it's helped over 8 million people save and invest in the background of life because you automatically set it and forget it with the recurring investment, so you don't even have to think about it, and there's no expertise required. Acorns' diversified portfolios are designed by experts to help you maximize growth potential and weather the market's ups and downs wherever they may happen. And if you have kids like I do, you can invest for them too using Acorns early. You get started in just 5 minutes and unlock investing, retirement savings, checking, earning, and more. If you use my link in the video description, acorns.com/UFD, you'll get a bonus of $5 when you join, and it takes less than 3 minutes to start investing and saving in the background of life. Again, check them out at the link in the video description. So my friends, in case you didn't hear, Bitcoin recently passed a record high of $28,000 over the Christmas weekend, which got a lot of people into a frenzy. This is 40% higher than its previous high back in December of 2017, and then also nearly double what it was just a year prior, which is getting the upward started again around, is GPU mining worth it? Can you mine Bitcoin right now? Should I be investing in this? And I will do my best to try to answer 2 of those 3 questions. I do not answer investment advice ever, because don't take your money advice from a random internet YouTuber as opposed to a real life YouTuber. But the question of GPU mining and is mining Bitcoin worth it right now, I can at least throw in some 2 cents in there to give you a good indication of what the current scene is like. And the unfortunate truth, which I actually don't want to say, is mining is looking really good right now. I've done these kind of retrospectives before. The most recent was about 18 months ago when Bitcoin had just recently re-peaked at $13,000. And at that point, the conclusion was, yes, the coin prices are going up, but profitability is just really out of whack and doesn't make a whole lot of sense to even do it because you're basically losing money for the entire venture. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So if we use some of the basic tools that are out on the internet and evaluate what are the current things that you should be mining with, the current cards you should be mining with, the sad reality is that with a lot of the cards that have come out from both AMD and Nvidia, it does look like they provide a good profitability on mining. So much so we're getting back to the point where there was that resurgence in 2017. I'm not sure how many of you remember how heavily we used to cover mining content back in 2017. But when I started, the average time to pay off a GPU at that point was between 100 and 150 days, and then at its peak it was roughly 30 to 40 days. At this point, if we take an examination of some of the cards that are currently out there, like the RTX 3080, with current profitability levels and you mining Ethereum on the RTX 3080, you're looking at a payoff time of 142 days, assuming the $700 price tag, because profitability after taking in a 12 cents per kilowatt hour electricity cost is about $5 per day with mining. And that's on a high-end card. If we look at more affordable cards like the RX 570, sometimes you can find these things brand new on sale for $100. I know I picked one up just a couple months ago for that, which means that we're looking at a payoff time of 65 days. Or let's take a look at a Radeon 7, which I was able to pick up earlier in the year for $550. That can earn me about $4.55 right now, which is just right around the 4-month mark. This is actually right where we were when things started to pick up back in 2017, and we saw the great GPU drop back then. Now, the good news is this doesn't appear to be a huge spike in profitability that's going to start driving a ton of people into the new market and then drive down rates. It looks like, at least according to the charts that I've been looking at, profitability's remained steady for the past month or so across various different algorithms and various different altcoins that you might be mining. However, I think one of the reasons that is this happening is because the cost of the coins has been pretty steady, except for the recent jump that happened over the weekend. However, if we take a look at the trajectory of profitability over the last 3 to 6 months, it has been heavily trending upward. Now, I think the only thing that's kind of really saving gamers from the ability to not be able to buy GPUs is the fact they already can't buy GPUs. AMD and Nvidia still haven't been able to keep up with demand that's actually out there to make enough cards for everybody to purchase. But this is on top of the fact that there's some indication out there that either Nvidia or partners of Nvidia sold directly to miners before the cards could even hit retail, and we might see more and more of that happening again. We're actually not that far removed from times where on eBay you could find companies like Zotac that would dropship you a box of GPUs so that you would be able to use them for mining. So it appears from what I'm seeing right now, just as an outsider's perspective, evaluating the trends, not as somebody who's heavily into the crypto world at this point, is that the only thing that's saving us from having GPUs be out of stock because miners are buying them is having GPUs that are out of stock because everyone wants to buy them. And I think that makes it slightly different, but not necessarily good for the future. Now, it's hard to say whether or not this is going to continue, but profitability trends over the last 90 days, as I've mentioned, have been trending upward. If we take a look at ASIC miners as well, to answer the question, is Bitcoin mining worth it with actual things that aren't GPUs? It looks like they're actually reaching the point where they're now profitable enough to pay the outrageous prices that you would actually have to pay in order to get these ASIC miners. Like take this Antminer S19 Pro. It does 110 terahash and can make you about $17 a day in profit after electricity costs, which is about $6,000 a year in profit. This thing costs about $6,000. That means that you can pay off a $6,000 machine within a year. This is not the crazy, stupid affordability that everything was just a few years ago, but this is the rumblings of it. This appears to be what might be another mining gold rush that's happening right in front of our eyes. You add on top of this the fact that there's continuously new node developments that are happening, more power efficiency that's coming, that's making it more profitable to mine, and we might continue to see this trend go on. However, just to caveat all of this, as I always want to do whenever I talk about mining, this is an incredibly volatile market. We might be seeing the start of a brand new bull run where Bitcoin's going to go to $40,000 to $50,000 within the next few months or within the next few years, and these profitability numbers are going to continue to be hot dang good. Or what could happen is that we see that this is just a bubble. It's going to collapse back down to $10,000. Everything that you invested to be able to mine is no longer going to be worth it, and you're out the cost of the hardware, which is why I was always a fan of GPU mining versus ASIC mining. ASICs eventually just get pushed to the wayside as giant paperweights because the only thing that they're good at is that one thing. They can do one thing really well, and that was mining. GPUs, if you buy them, they do mining really well, but guess what? When you're done mining with them, you can go ahead and resell them to gamers. It's a thing that happened, and it doesn't look as risky of an investment strategy if you're going to take it that way. Now, again, I'm not suggesting that you go out and buy a whole bunch of GPUs because, number one, you can't. We are not only seeing a drought of newer GPUs from AMD and Nvidia, but we're also seeing a drought of older GPUs because it looks like the company stopped production on things like the 16 series and AMD's older cards, so those aren't being produced. So it's this weird middle ground where things are actually getting more profitable, but you're not able to capitalize on it, which might be able to save the actual GPU market, but might not, because if companies are drop shipping to miners instead of delivering them to retail, this might be fueling this entire thing to begin with. It's actually kind of interesting that this appears to be the same beginnings that I originally saw back in 2017 when we started covering mining content. There's a lot of interest that's happening because the price of cryptocurrencies started to rise again and brought the mainstream back into it, which led to more and more people buying into the coins, which led to higher prices, but then led to higher profitabilities for cards that were out because they were brand new, they had better power efficiency, they can make you back your money quite quickly, and we're kind of also seeing that with the RTX 30 series. It's actually a better architecture for mining than the 20 series was. The RX 6000 series, not so much. It appears that the memory bus that's on the RX 6000 series is the big limiter that's kind of preventing AMD from taking the top crown with mining this generation, but it's still actually pretty good. The RX 6800 XT actually is less profitable than the 3080 by a quite substantial margin, only $3.24 per day, but that leads to a payoff period of 200 days, which isn't as good as the 3080's 142, but actually still means that you're paying off a GPU within a year if you decide to mine full time with it, given current profitability levels. My ears were perked when Bitcoin started to have its meteoric rise again, and upon further investigation, it does look like GPU mining is at a pretty decent place, which is unfortunate for a lot of you who actually want to be able to buy these cards for gaming, but also appears to be a redemptive story to a lot of you who are holding on to see this happen yet again. And for the people who have been holding on to RX 570s and 580s from the last round of mining that took off, you're actually not in too bad of shape if you purchased them back then. You got a $200 580 in 2018. Well, guess what? You probably already mined your way to profitability a couple times over at this point if you just held on to the coins and you sold them when they're popping off. It's really dangerous to say where this is going to go. I have no predictions on where this could potentially develop, but just doing the wrong thing of extrapolating out from this exact moment in time, which is just bad math, right? Things look really good. Will they continue that way? Will they get better? Will they get worse? I can't say, but I just wanted to provide you with the information that I'm seeing out there on GPU mining and whether or not it's worth it right now. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts of all of this down below in the comments. Let me know if you've been mining this entire time, if you're getting back into mining now, if you're just really still mad about everything that happened back in 2017 and 2018. I'm keen to hear from you down below in the comments. With that being said, I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.